Hello everyone, I am Miss Lekhana, Assistant Professor from Medical Laboratory Technology, Yenepoya School of Allied Health Sciences. Today I am going to take a topic on bilirubin metabolism. So by end of the session, a learner should be able to explain the formation, transportation, hepatic conjugation and excretion of bilirubin, and should be able to classify jaundice, should be able to differentiate types of jaundice based on the laboratory findings. Introduction. Bilirubin is a yellow bile pigment which is formed during the breakdown of heme. Heme is present mainly in the form of hemoglobin within the RBC. Around 250 milligrams will be from the turnover of hemoglobin. Another 50 milligram of bilirubin is formed from the other heme containing proteins like myoglobin and cytochromes. The lifespan of erythrocyte is about 120 days. The older RBCs are removed from the circulation by degradation, which is happening in the reticuloendothelial cells of liver, spleen and bone marrow. When the RBC undergoes lysis, heme and globin is produced. The globin is channelized to amino acid pool and heme will be converted into bilirubin. Other than that, even myoglobin and cytochromes are heme containing proteins which are converted into bilirubin at the end of the reaction. Along with that, the iron is released that will be reutilized. Steps involved in the bilirubin metabolism: bilirubin production, transportation and hepatic uptake of bilirubin, conjugation of bilirubin in hepatocyte, excretion of conjugated bilirubin into the bile, and fate of conjugated bilirubin in intestine. First we will see bilirubin production, how it takes place. Heme is converted into biliverdin in the presence of enzyme called as heme oxygenase and in the presence of oxygen as well as NADP H+H+. So where iron is released, along with the iron NADP plus is released. Biliverdin, it will undergo reaction in the presence of biliverdin reductase to form bilirubin in the presence of NADP H+, and NADP plus is released. The bilirubin here it is formed is called as unconjugated bilirubin and which cannot be transported in the blood, so because it is insoluble in the blood. So next we will see how the transportation as well as hepatic uptake of this bilirubin takes place. Here, the unconjugated bilirubin, which is not soluble in the plasma, which will bind with the albumin and it forms bilirubin-albumin complex. Once the complex is formed, it is transported in the blood and it reaches to the liver cells. Once it reaches the liver cells, albumin is removed. Next we will see how the conjugation of bilirubin takes place in the hepatocytes. Once the unconjugated bilirubin reaches the liver, it reacts with the UDP glucuronic acid and it forms conjugated bilirubin. It is also called as bilirubin diglucuronide or direct bilirubin, which is in the presence of UDP glucuronyl transferase, where along with this conjugated bilirubin, two molecules of UDP are released. Next we will see how the excretion of conjugated bilirubin takes place to the bile. Conjugated bilirubin will bind with the transporter called as MRP2 transporter, which is dependent on ATP, which will help in the transportation of this bilirubin to the bile and then it is transported to the intestine. Next we will see what is the fate of this conjugated bilirubin in the intestine. Once it is transported to the intestine, in the intestine deconjugation will take place by the intestinal bacteria, that is beta glucuronidase, which will remove the glucuronic acid and where unconjugated bilirubin is formed, and further reduction of this unconjugated bilirubin will lead to a formation of urobilinogen. The majority of the urobilinogen will excrete in the form of stercobilin. A small amount of urobilinogen will enter into enterohepatic circulation, and from the few amount will be directly excreted through the urine. Next we will see what is a normal range. Normal serum total bilirubin level is 0.2 to 1 milligram per deciliter. Normal serum unconjugated bilirubin level is 0.2 to 0.8 milligram per deciliter, and normal serum conjugated bilirubin level is 0 to 0.2 milligram per deciliter. Next we will see what is jaundice. If the serum bilirubin level increases above 1 milligram per deciliter, it is called as hyperbilirubinemia. If the serum bilirubin level exceeds above 2 milligram per deciliter and that leads to yellow discoloration of skin, sclera and conjunctiva, then it is called as jaundice. Next we will see the classification of jaundice. The first classification is based on the type of bilirubin increased. The first one is unconjugated hyperbilirubinemia, the second one is conjugated hyperbilirubinemia, and third one is mixed hyperbilirubinemia. Next classification is based on the etiology. It is classified into three, that is hemolytic jaundice, hepatocellular jaundice and obstructive jaundice. Next classification is based on the site of disease. So it is pre-hepatic jaundice, hepatic jaundice as well as post-hepatic jaundice. Next classification, the last classification is based on the origin. There are two types, that is acquired hyperbilirubinemia and congenital hyperbilirubinemia. Under the acquired hyperbilirubinemia, there are two types, that is neonatal jaundice and hemolytic jaundice of newborn. The second type, it has four categories, that is Gilbert's disease, Crigler-Najjar syndrome, Dubin-Johnson syndrome and Rota syndrome. First we will see pre-hepatic jaundice or hemolytic jaundice. Under that we will see the etiology or the causes for this condition. So this condition is caused due to the excessive destruction of red blood cell, may be due to the incompatible blood transfusion, malaria, sickle cell anemia and deficiency of enzyme glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase. What are the biochemical changes will take place in this condition? We will see. There will be increased serum unconjugated bilirubin level as well as increased amount of urobilinogen in urine and stercobilinogen in feces. When the more amount of stercobilinogen in the feces is excreted, that leads to a dark brown colored stool. Next we will see hepatic jaundice. It is also called as hepatocellular jaundice. The etiology is, it is mainly due to the dysfunction of liver, that is due to the damage in the liver cells. This damage may be caused due to the viral infection, toxins as well as liver cirrhosis. And biochemical findings which will increase the serum concentration of both conjugated and unconjugated bilirubin, as well as the urobilinogen level may be normal or decreased in the urine, as well as there will be presence of bilirubin in the urine, and it also lead to an increased level of AST and ALT in the blood. Next is post-hepatic jaundice, or it is also called as obstructive jaundice. Etiology for this condition, the obstruction in the bile duct which will prevent the passage of conjugated bilirubin to the liver, to the intestine, mainly because of cholelithiasis, that is gallstone, as well as maybe because of a pancreas, carcinoma of pancreas head. Biochemical findings, where there will be a increased conjugated bilirubin level, as well as we can see there is an absence of stercobilinogen in the feces, that leads to pale or clay colored stool. Next is neonatal jaundice. This is a mild jaundice which is seen in the first few days after the birth, which is common as well as physiological. This is due to the deficiency of enzyme, that is UDP glucuronide transferase, which is required for conjugation. In this case, there will not be serum bilirubin will not go above 5 milligram per deciliter and it will disappear after second week. Next is hemolytic jaundice of newborn. So this is because of mainly Rh incompatibility between maternal and fetal blood group, where the child is born with a severe hemolytic disease. It is also often refers to a erythroblastosis fetalis, where the bilirubin level will exceed 20 milligram per deciliter. When it increases above 20 milligram per deciliter, albumin binding capacity to the bilirubin also will exceeds. Usually in a newborns, the blood-brain barriers are not fully matured, so easily this free bilirubins can enter into our brain, leading to a condition called as kernicterus. It also leads to a toxic encephalopathy and mental retardation as well as spasticity. Next we will see congenital hyperbilirubinemia. This results from the abnormal uptake of bilirubin and also because of abnormal conjugation and excretion of bilirubin, that is due to the inherited defect. Here first we will see what is Gilbert's disease. It's an autosomal dominant trait where usually the bilirubin level may increase up to 3 milligram per deciliter. Next we will see what is a defect here. It is mainly due to impaired hepatic uptake of bilirubin and partial defect in the enzyme UDP glucuronide transferase, which is required for conjugation. Next we will see Crigler-Najjar syndrome. This is a rare autosomal recessive disorder which is due to the deficiency of enzyme UDP glucuronide transferase. There are two types, type 1 and type 2. First we will see type 1. Here it is due to the complete deficiency of enzyme UDP glucuronide transferase, which is required for the conjugation of bilirubin. And next we will see what happens with the unconjugated bilirubin level in the serum. It will increase more than 20 milligram per deciliter and this is very severe jaundice. And next is type 2, where it is partial deficiency of enzyme UDP glucuronide transferase and this is very less severe. Next is Dubin-Johnson syndrome. It is an autosomal recessive disorder which is due to the defect in the hepatic secretion of conjugated bilirubin into bile. This causes slightly elevation of conjugated bilirubin in the blood, as well as there will be a abnormal black pigmentation on the liver. So this is also called as black liver jaundice. Next is Rota syndrome. It is almost similar to the Dubin-Johnson syndrome, but there will not be a black discoloration of liver cells. Next we will go to the laboratory investigation involved for diagnosis of jaundice. First is Vandenberg reaction. It is done for estimation of serum bilirubin level, where bilirubin will react with the diacetylsulfonelic acid to form a purple colored complex called as azobilirubin. This diacetylsulfonelic acid contains sulfonelic acid, sodium nitrite and as well as hydrochloric acid. We can see there are three responses under this Vandenberg reaction. So first response is direct response. When the serum is made to react with the diacetylsulfonelic acid, the conjugated bilirubin will react with the diacetylsulfonelic acid and it will lead to a formation of azobilirubin. This direct response is seen in case of post-hepatic jaundice. Next is indirect response, where the unconjugated bilirubin is made to react with the alcohol as well as diacetylsulfonelic acid, which gives azobilirubin. This response is seen in case of prehepatic jaundice. Biphasic means initially the purple color Initially, the purple colored complex is obtained immediately when the diazotized sulfonamic acid is added to the serum sample. Color will get intensified by adding alcohol. This biphasic response is seen mainly in case of when there is a presence of both conjugated and unconjugated bilirubin in the serum sample, that is mainly seen in the hepatic jaundice. Next is test for urinary bile salts. Urinary bile salts are detected by Hayes test. Mainly it is seen in the obstructive jaundice as well as hepatic jaundice. Next is urinary urobilinogen. The urinary urobilinogen is measured by Ehrlich's test. The normal excretion is up to 4 mg per day. In case of prehepatic jaundice, the urobilinogen level excretion increases. In case of hepatic jaundice, it might be normal or decreased, and in case of post-hepatic jaundice, the urobilinogen is absent in the urine sample. Next is urinary bilirubin. Usually, the conjugated bilirubin is a water soluble. It can easily get excreted through the urine. So, it is mainly seen in case of hepatic and obstructive jaundice where the conjugated bilirubin will increase in the serum. The urinary bilirubin is measured by the Faucher's test. In case of prehepatic jaundice, urinary bilirubin is absent. In case of hepatic jaundice, small amount is excreted, and in case of post-hepatic jaundice, it increases. Next is liver enzymes. First we will see what are the enzymes which will indicate the liver damage or the hepatic jaundice. There are two enzymes, that is AST and ALT, which is rich in the liver. So next we will see what is the normal range of these enzymes. ALT, it is up to 35 international unit per liter, and AST is up to 40 international unit per liter. So these two enzymes will increase in case of liver damage or hepatic jaundice. Next, enzymes indicating obstructive jaundice. First is alkaline phosphatase. Its normal range is 35 to 130 international unit, and next is GGT. It's also called as gamma glutamyl transferase, where the normal range is up to 55 international unit per liter. This enzymes level will increase in case of post-hepatic jaundice or obstructive jaundice. Next we will see the summary of this bilirubin metabolism. Bilirubin is formed from the breakdown of heme. Heme will be converted into unconjugated bilirubin, that is transported to the liver. In the liver, converted into conjugated bilirubin, and it excretes to the bile and reaches to intestine. In the intestine, the intestinal bacteria will convert this bilirubin to urobilinogen, and urobilinogen is converted into stercobilin and urobilin. Jaundice, it occurs when there is a serum bilirubin exceeds 2 mg per deciliter, and that will lead to a yellow discoloration of skin, sclera, mucus and other tissues. Mainly the jaundice is classified into hemolytic jaundice or prehepatic jaundice, hepatic jaundice or hepatocellular jaundice, and obstructive jaundice or post-hepatic jaundice. The neonatal jaundice is caused due to the immature liver enzyme system. Next is Vandenberg reaction. It is used for the differentiating the bilirubin types. So direct response is seen in case of presence of conjugated bilirubin. Indirect response is seen in case of presence of unconjugated bilirubin, and biphasic response is seen in case of both. Laboratory investigation also includes serum bilirubin levels, urine bile pigments, urobilinogen and liver enzymes analysis to diagnose and differentiate types of jaundice. These are my reference. Thank you.